Hello and welcome to the Connected podcast. My name's Sean and I'm your host for this episode. Connected Magazine attended the 2024 AETM Conference late last year at Flinders University in Adelaide. It was a great show filled with informative sessions for integrators and jam-packed with tabletops from some of the biggest names in the education AV space. We went around and asked some brands what they thought were the biggest trends in this space. Here's what they had to say.
So our industry outlook trend analysis report that we put out every year is showing that the size of the AV market for education in Australia is going to grow from about 750 million Aussie dollars in 2024 to about 900 million in 2029. So 150 million Aussie dollars worth of growth over the next 5 years.
Thanks. The trends we're seeing in the education space kind of do transverse between higher education and K-12. We know that there's much more hybrid and use of video conference that's even growing more for lecture capture and that sort of stuff and further review. It doesn't necessarily have to be about using video conference systems for online hybrid. It could be just for rewatching back via Microsoft Teams or a Zoom's record for a year 11 or 12 lesson or for a lecture theatre or something as well. But another trend that we're seeing is more people want to be able to centrally manage their devices. They want to be able to respond to concerns and issues before they become a support call from, say, a lecturer in a room saying a microphone's out of battery or something, or one of the ceiling tile microphones or a DSP has gone offline. Central management on an IT-based asset level is really key to being able to help any institution keep running regularly and with a nice ease of use for the end customers that they're servicing too. And then we've also got much more in the way of networked devices like networked amplifiers, networked endpoints for video. Everything is happening on that network and is converged. And then there's also the need for unique experiences. Everyone's got a different way of doing things. Everyone's got different faculties that want to find a different way to manage things, be it a live event or just a short pop-up for a student association. There's so much flexibility that's required from our AV teams in education now that empowering them with the right tools and solutions and devices and hardware is really crucial.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of hybrid learning and a lot of people engaging in with universities and education from both online and offline, and we're seeing a lot of products come in and to help bridge that gap so that everybody has the same experience, whether they're in the classroom or they're online. They're able to engage in the same way and have the same opportunities and same experience.
So I think an interesting trend that seems to be occurring is the interest level in lecture recording, and Panopto seems to be getting a lot of ground in Australia, which is really good because they're integrated fully into the Epiphone lecture recording devices. So that's pretty exciting. We're getting a lot of interest from that sort of point of view. Also, the reliability of the products is key, and there's been a lot of case studies from the US and Europe where the Epiphone product had been deployed and everybody seems to be very happy.
So AV trends in education, I think it's really about UC and USB. The change, all laptops and source devices are becoming USB-C only devices, so you really need to manage that hub and host management in a system. So it's really about hybridising traditional AV to ingest USB technology. That's really the change.
I think in the education we are looking into intuitive technology that can integrate with different elements from a USB perspective, from thinking about all the cloud video conferencing space as well integrated, but I think most importantly making it easier for the end user, not equipment heavy or control heavy, just intuitive on the palm of your hands control.
In education, they're trying to simplify more larger rooms, make it easier to manage, less customization. And what we are doing is addressing those problems with AI, I suppose. So now we can take camera solutions and simplify larger meeting spaces. We see a trend where flexibility in teaching spaces are also important. So by having cameras that adapt to any situation is becoming more and more relevant in education.
Yeah. So one of the trends that we're seeing in the AV world from a camera point of view, that's one of our primary areas for education, is that the cameras are starting to be used rather than just something that observes a lesson or a class. They're being used as an interactive tool within the classroom, so that if you have something where you have students in pods and they're collaboratively learning from not only the lecturer but also from each other, they can do things like hit a button on their table and the camera and the audio will go over to them, and then they're the ones that are communicating with the rest of the class, and they can create a much more collaborative environment. And we've seen that sort of in the last couple of years, but we're really seeing that accelerate from the camera point of view, that becoming an active part of that teaching experience rather than just something that observes it.
Thanks to everyone who took part in this video, and it's definitely looking like an interesting time to be part of the education AV space. If you have any thoughts about the responses you've heard or just want to ask a question, feel free to reach out to Connected Magazine on the contact details in this episode's description. There will also be a full write-up of the 2024 AETM Conference in the next edition of Connected Magazine. Thank you for listening and make it a great day.